So if I'm an artist somewhere in Uganda, my market is no longer the market in Kampala, but my market is the world.
What is the number one challenge facing e-commerce as it is right now? To that, I might also want to add, can you please elaborate when you hear a question such as the largest challenge in e-commerce? To you, what is e-commerce? Because it's usually a very vaguely defined term.
To start with, the e-commerce definition is really about matching a seller with the buyer online. By purpose, I keep it very broad, because I think one of the biggest opportunity, and perhaps sometimes we miss that, is, and it goes back to our company purpose, connecting people, improving life. I truly believe that can change the landscape dramatically. Yeah, if you think back the 19th century, we started industrialization in the UK. We had factories. Where were the factories? They were where the coal were, because that's where the energy was. They started producing stuff. Over time, it became cheaper to move production into China, and I think now we are moving from China to the next places. And I think now two big things actually are changing the landscape dramatically. One is, I think with COVID, everybody is checking, how do I set up my production landscape globally? Is it wise to have all my eggs in the one basket? And secondly, it really boosted e-commerce, and from my point of view, in the long run, it will enable a lot of perhaps today developing emerging markets where most of the population on this planet is actually living, to connect across the world and find customers across the world. So if I'm an artist somewhere in Uganda, my market is no longer the market in Kampala, but my market is the world. And our company, our mission is to make that happen, that anyone can sell globally. And I think that will fuel a lot of opportunity, a lot of growth opportunity, especially in areas where people are today struggling, and will really change the way we operate businesses today. So if I look at challenges, you asked for that, I think no doubt today, last mile delivery is the biggest challenge, and I think a lot of what the colleagues have said, 100% I agree. I think the consumer expectations in terms of speed have increased dramatically. I think we all order and we expect it to be on the doorstep the next 5 minutes, because we do it with the food, and I think Peter mentioned that very nicely. But if you then think ahead of really globally functioning e-commerce ecosystem, it is impossible to get goods from Uganda to the UK within 5 minutes. It will take some time, but how fast can it be? How long will the consumer be willing to wait? What cost is he willing to pay for that? How do we package? How do we organize the whole flows? How do we manage reverse supply chains, which are already a challenge in today's landscape, but then thinking of customs and brokerage and reversing. There's so many challenges on the way, but I think a lot of opportunity, and for us sitting in the Middle East, traditionally in the middle between Asia, Africa, Europe, I think there's a unique opportunity to think ahead, invest in infrastructure, and try to be a key player. And the last very little comment, I used to live in Joburg. I've been in many African countries. If you are in these countries, many goods which are 5 minutes away for anyone living in Dubai are very difficult to get. So there is a huge consumer base, more than a billion people, and they don't have access to a lot of products which are very common and very used to us. So there is wealthy people there. Not everyone, many people are struggling, but there's also a lot of wealthy people. There's a middle wealthy class evolving, and those guys want to consume the same stuff the people in Europe, in America, in China are consuming.